Well, ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the first round here at the European Darts Grand Prix. And introduce to the stage a man playing in his third PDC Euro Tour event. It's time for some Latvian razzmatazz. Madas Razma! We now introduce a former UK Open quarter-finalist. It's the Muffin Man, Steve Hine!
Well, time for some Latvian razzmatazz, whatever that is. As Madas Razma takes to the stage, only to be outdone on the walk-on by Steve Hine with his usual handing out of muffins. The man who has his nickname because he is a baker and bakes muffins, although they didn't look like his own. They were pre-packaged things that he maybe picked up at a local supermarket this morning. But can he pick up a win this afternoon at the European Darts Grand Prix? We've already seen Aaron Monk make a successful return to the Euro Tour. This is Steve Hine's first appearance since 2016. You fancy that he can, Dan Dawson?
Well, he's already had one run this year on the Pro Tour. And Steve Hine, of course, was the man who knocked the world #2 Peter Snakebite out of the Players' Championship finals back in the last year in the shock of the first round. Now, obviously, it then transpired that Wright had been playing with this illness, injury, whatever it was, that he then lost a load of weight and he wasn't feeling quite his best. But it was still top stuff from Steve Hine that weekend.
Game on.
You had a dodgy muffin the day before, had he? Peter
Well,
Wright?
I don't know. I'm unconfirmed. But Madas Razma is a man who does have a little bit of magic. It turns up inconsistently, but when he's on, he is dangerous.
100.
Well, that's the Latvian razzmatazz. Opening with a maximum. And you said it's inconsistent, Dan. Your point has been proven immediately.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking from day to day rather than visit to visit, but yeah. Yeah, I suppose.
96.
They're facing off for the right to take on Ian White tomorrow, the number 9 seed.
99.
And was in conversation with Mike Lawrence in the previous match, saying that there must be a huge number of players entering these tournaments now, really believing that they can go on and win, having seen their Pro Tour colleagues do so over the last few weeks.
Well, you know, the first-time winners like Mickey Mansell, Max Hopp, Johnny Clayton winning his first big stage title in the PDC. It's got to give them belief. But I know that Peter Wright, Michael van Gerwen, and to an extent, Michael Smith have dominated the Euro Tour the last 3 years. But we did have 1 year with 8 events and 8 separate winners.
93.
Can happen.
require 164.
Can this happen? 164. No is the answer in short. Now, anyway. As Razma returns, looking at tops. And takes the first leg, which he opened with a maximum and finished on double 20.
Yeah, solid 16 data from Madas there. Nothing wrong with that.
60.
First time these two have met in professional darts. Obviously, Madas hasn't been playing PDC darts for that long.
78.
Still playing on the burgeoning Scandinavian circuit, the Nordic and Baltic circuit, where he qualified for this by, I mean, him and Darius Lavanauskas, who's top of the Scandinavian rankings, they were just on a collision course in the final of this, and nobody was getting close to them. It was 6-0, 6-0 for Madas in his first 2 games. It was 6-2, 6-0 for Darius, and then went all the way to a last leg decider in the final.
Yep, Steve Hine winning a couple of matches to come through the UK qualifier, beating Robert Thornton and John Goldie, also in the last leg decider, his decisive match in qualifying.
137.
Yeah, you mentioned Razma is fairly new to the PDC Tour, but he has had the odd decent run. The most notable one to the semi-finals at a Players' Championship event in Ireland. The tournaments they play ahead of the Grand Prix at the City West in Dublin.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to commentate on any of those games for Madas that day, but I had a few people independently come up to me and say, he's playing very, very well today. And so it proved. All the way to the semis. That's his best run in PDC darts. Oh, now then. Good setup here.
137.
Pressure's on this ton for Steve Hine. Treble 20, double top. Tops? No, it's treble 16 for double, and he can't get that either.
84. Batters require 50.
He landed tops in leg one, but he's opted for double 16 here. And he does that just as effectively to double his lead. Strong start.
2 out of 2 on the doubles for Madars Razma, the multiple national champion of Latvia. How many times do you think he's won it, Chris?
Let's go for 8.
140.
It's not that good. 5. Still pretty good, though. Not quite John Michael territory.
No, should have won 8, I reckon. Not fulfilled his potential.
Well, he's still a relatively young man. 29 years old.
$59.
Well, Steve Hine, opportunity. 1 treble gets him to a finish. Can't even get that. And he is second best at the minute, Steve Hine. Not by a great deal, but enough.
Hine's best run in the TV majors in the PDC was the
81.
UK Open back in 07, where he reached the quarter-finals. We have seen him at most of the big Premier events, of course, World Championship and the like. Razma looking for a showpiece shot here. Needn't go for the bullseye because he wants double 6. And he lands it. Wonderful finishing from the Latvian.
Steve to throw first. Game on.
100% on the doubles, 126 checkout just there, and Steve Hine is just not being allowed a sniff in this game because he has not had a dart at double.
Yeah, Aaron Monk's finishing in the previous match was very, very good. 6 out of 10 on the doubles for him. But it's interesting speaking to Aaron quickly after the match. He felt he didn't perform at all in his victory against Peter Hudson, and said that actually he put his good finishing down to the fact that he was kind of embarrassed by his scoring.
Well, you've got to... I think you've got to take into account that big stage darts, and granted we haven't got a particularly big crowd in here today. It's going to be very, very different tomorrow and Sunday here at the Las Palast. But big stage darts, it's very, very different from playing in a booth in Wigan or Barnsley or Milton Keynes or wherever.
92.
The bread and butter of the Pro Tour.
20.
Steve Hine may get a first dart at double. Does get a first dart at double.
80.
And misses his first dart at double.
Well, history suggests that if Madars Razma gets a dart at double, then he'll take a 4-0 lead.
Not going to get one though, is he?
Well, unless Hine starts missing again. But not in this visit.
77. Steve require 40. On the fourth there.
Yep, use the open space to the left of the marker and gets himself off the mark. Yeah, just to go back to your point about the difference for big stage darts. Aaron Monk made that point, didn't he, in his interview with yourself after the match,
81.
saying that it just felt like a big open space and that the board can kind of feel further away because the difference in size of stage and arena can trick the mind into thinking that it is, in comparison to playing in an enclosed cubicle, as he called it in the Pro Tour events.
Well, some players will talk about all kinds of tricks of the eye. I mean, they'll measure these stages to within a millimetre, and they'll have lasers and all sorts of stuff. As the Muffin Man can't find the 177. But they'll get up there and they will swear blind that certain throws are long or short or there's something wrong with them. And it can be a simpler thing as the colour of the stage. And it can feel that it's closer or further away.
Well, Steve Hine seems to have the measure of this one right now.
77.
Failed on the 177 in the previous visit, but then completed it in the very next. He's found his range and he's finding a way back into this match.
65.
That's enough to get to a finish for Madders, but... well, he's just going to leave himself double top here. Should he have gone double-double after that first dart? Because doubles are bigger areas, they're bigger targets to hit. Ooh, Madders very nearly getting a dart at double top himself.
This for the break back.
Shot on the fifth leg, Steve Hine.
And that's what he's managed to do. The muffin is rising.
Game on.
Well, it's the second time that Hine has won a leg on tops, and he's had what looked like a perfect guide of a dart, missing just high, and then just completely abandoned it and gone to a different area of the double. It's been that's gone.
17.
Gravity dragging that one that was just clinging in the board. Didn't lose many points for it, just lost a point.
100. 56.
World Youth Champion Dimitri Vandenberg next up on stage against Matt Paget. Another guy making a return to the European Tour after several years away. Well, Razma started this game so authoritatively, but Hine has just raised his level. And we're seeing averages in the mid-90s here, which isn't bad going right now. And there may be a little bit more in the tank, particularly from Steve Hine, who you feel is just getting better.
58.
He's one of those players who we know that can kind of click. Steve Hine, he hit a 9 dart. Was it on this year on the tour or at the end of last year?
I think it might have been the end of last year. He's just struggling to find a treble at the minute. Not as Razma.
93. Stevie requires 60.
Oh, double top. Can he loop one over? Yes, he can, and he's made the freedom advantage disappear.
Game on.
3 legs, all one in a row, all on double top for the Muffin Man. 14, 14, 17. Not bad, everything in 5 or 6 visits to the board in this game. Very solid stuff to open their campaigns, but only one of them can go through to face Ian White. That is a tough draw.
Yeah, and it's an important year for Steve Hine because the last couple of times he's had a tour card, he's not been able to hold on to it at the end of his 2-year period, and he's in his second year once again. Ranked in the 70s on the order of merit, and it's the top 64 that automatically return their tour cards at the end of the order of merit season.
Well, just qualifying for this is a big thing. And, you know, winning here would make a huge difference. Let alone if you end up going on a run. I mean, we saw Peter Hudson in action in the first game. Yeah, right, he was beaten by Aaron Monk. The last time we saw Peter Hudson in action, he made the quarterfinals, and that's enormous. As Madders Razma piles in his second 180, leaves himself double 10, and Madders has not missed a dart at double in this match so far. This could be the best leg of the match, 13 darter.
20.
Just stepping back, checking his score. Now he has missed a dart at double. But it doesn't matter because it's not one missed in the visit. And I was mentioning Steve Hine's tendency to click and go on little spells of good darts. Madders Razma's good darts just seem to come from nowhere. They're very good darts.
90.
That makes for an interesting contest, doesn't it, Dan? Because while Hine can look in control, Razma can fire in a maximum or a big finish from anywhere. Nothing's kind of safe at any point in any leg.
Well, you've had little periods in this game. You know, 3 legs from Mados, where he's looking very, very good and averaging up towards 98, 99. 3 legs for Steve Hine, where he looks completely in charge, and it's completely up in the air. The crowd that we've got seem to be backing the Muffin Man. Never underestimate the power of free baked goods.
133.
I mean, I only think he did literally have three baked goods in his hand.
Well,
so
yeah, I mean, they're
is that
not
enough to please the crowd? Is he?
Well, it's enough to please some of them, yeah.
140. Stevie required 91.
It's not exactly the feeding of the 5,000 here, is it? Oh, now then.
75.
Well, misses the double 16. I think he would have preferred to be having to go at double top with the way things have gone over the last few legs, but he's going to get more darts.
Razma taking his time here. Not sure if it's to do his maths or just to knock Steve Hine out of his stride. Let's see if it was the latter, whether it works.
Okay, shot the 8 there. Steve Hine.
Steve Hine levels up, and we now have a race to 2 legs to decide who will take on Ian White tomorrow.
$81. 100. 48.
Got to find a breaker throw from somewhere, Steve Hine. Back-to-back tons at the start of this leg might be enough to mount an assault on the Razma throw.
58.
Certainly looks like it now.
$58.
Well, that's very, very unfortunate.
80.
Madas Razma wouldn't have been down to a finish. Would have been in a much better position in the leg.
Yeah, an extra 60 points
96.
could have made the difference in this one. Hine is down to a finish. Razma blocks the treble 20, finds the 57, and again.
134.
Well, it's World Championship snooker weekend. They were going to say 147 break. Not going to happen.
97.
But this 100, you feel, has to go.
Oh, it can't go now. That is a shocker. That is a shocker. The one place on the board that he could put it where he wouldn't have a dart.
40.
Or didn't have a shot after the first dart.
$30. And as you require,
Well, as it happened, it didn't have to go. He's going to come back. Well, that might not be the biggest disaster. He's reacting like it is, but that gives him a clear shot at another double. Can he work his way in?
40. He requires 20.
Tungsten tension at the business end of this first round clash.
Steve Hine for the break. That could prove decisive in this game. He doesn't like it. He doesn't even know which side of the dart to aim at, above or below. Well, now, double 5 the target.
10 score.
Well, I think he would have been slightly relieved that he missed on the inside and had a shot at a different double there. But that relief may turn to despair as he sees Razma edge ahead once more. And now Steve Hine has it all to do.
Steve Hine on the brink, and
45.
he's only got himself to blame, I'm afraid, because from 3-0 down, he played some very, very strong stuff to get back in contention. He got his chance, and he blew it.
140.
That's the only way of describing it. He's missed 5 darts to break there and be thrown for the match right now.
84.
And some of the darts that he's thrown at the start of this leg suggest that that may well be in his head.
82.
You haven't got time to dwell in darts.
58.
But again, one of the three a long, long way away from the intended target. And Razma has Hine on the ropes.
$56. 97. 139.
Very good from Madas Razma. Gives himself a shot. 84 needed for a 6-4 victory. One he's had to work very, very hard for. There's pressure applied by the Muffin Man, but it might be too little too late, because minimum, the Latvian should be looking at a dart at bullseye for the match.
Well, he's got better than that by virtue of that cheeky little double.
52.
Steve Hine is going to have one last shot at keeping his hopes alive.
Finishing from both men was great in the early part of the game. Stumbled a little bit later.
38.
And that continues.
32.
Double 16 then to wrap it up. Well, that could be tricky, having to step a long way across the hockey. But he's managed to find the bottom corner, and Madas Razma eventually gets over the line. It started very, very well for him before Hine hit back. But it's a Latvian that will move through to take on Ian White in the second round tomorrow. We're going to have Steve Lennon and Vincent van der Voort in a couple of games' time, the standout tie of the afternoon. Before that, Matt Padgett takes on Dimitri Vandenberg in our next match. But as Steve Hine departs the stage, our man Dan Dawson is going to make his way there to catch a few words with the winner, Madas Razma.
Madas, congratulations. A tough game, winning the first three legs, and then Steve came back at you. You had to dig deep to win.
The first, thank you for supporting. Yeah, it was a hard game because 3-0 up, a little bit lost my focus, then 3-3 back. But finally, I'm happy to win. Yeah, not the best performance for me, but I hopefully tomorrow will be better. That's my motivation for this weekend is to go back to home just on Monday. Yeah, hopefully I will be back tomorrow with better performance.
Just qualifying for these Euro tours through the Nordic and Baltic qualifier, very, very difficult. A lot of good players in Scandinavia. And is that league helping the standard improve, do you think?
Yeah, many good players through, but anyway, where you play, it's very hard to qualify anyway. In Europe, in England, in Scandinavia, a lot of good players. Yeah, and actually I qualified for the single finger to beat one of my best friends, Darius Labnauskas, 6-5 in the final. And yeah, I'm so happy to be here and enjoy.
And it's Ian White tomorrow, one of the top players in world darts, and who beat Michael van Gerwen on the Euro Tour earlier this year.
My teammate. I like to play against Team Unicorn players. I played a lot before, and yeah, I hope to be a good game.
Well, you've got your wish. Congratulations, Madas. Madas Razma safely through to the second round. Coming up in a few moments' time, the World Youth Champion Dimitri Vandenberg against Matt Padgett.